been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
Welcome back, everybody. It is currently 4:43. We're doing a quick podcast because we had some change of plans yesterday. Some stuff happened. You know, things happen. It's all good.
What's with the new intro where you tell the time?
I don't know.
You sound like
I want them.
I feel like we need a bell in the background, like ding ding ding.
I want them to know,
Coast.
like, you know, what time we're recording. They know what happens. You know what's going on in the world.
Last night was our scheduled podcast night, and
Supposed to have an athlete on, but hey, he was nice and actually messaged us.
he
back.
messaged
I'm
us.
Like,
He had a meeting, and he canceled with like 3 minutes to go for the podcast started.
Nah, it was like 10 minutes, but at least he messaged us.
Yes, he did. And we're trying to reschedule, and hopefully everything works out. We can get him on.
We got a couple guys in our hands right now, and it's getting very good, and we just love doing it.
We actually had one guy, and this cracks me up because, you know, we explained to them who we are, the whole 9 yards, and he's like, oh yeah,
this guy.
I'd love to come on. Next text is, how much?
I had a conversation with my team management here, and
How much are you
how
going
much
to
you gonna pay
compensate
me?
me?
I said to him, well, we're not even getting paid, so I mean, if you want to come on, I get it. If you don't,
a millionaire, multi-millionaire in the NFL, and you're looking for a little chump change.
I get it though. Like I feel like
Matter
I
of
guess
fact, why don't
I
you
would
pay
want the
me
details
because you're in a boring position that we have already interviewed someone that's even better than you.
I get it. You know, I guess
Anyway.
I would want to know the details, but at the same time, like, man, like, and then he leaves me on red after that, just knowing that he's never coming on.
That's a nice way of saying F you without saying F you.
Yeah. Anyways, the Yankees played the Braves last night, and they won 9-6. I fell asleep later in the game, but Luke Voigt crushed a home run. Aaron Judge continued to rake.
I just don't understand why the Yankees continue to pitch Luis Sessa. I don't think he's any good. I don't think he's ever been good. And we always fall on the sword with him, you know. Just, you got to make change. You got to get some of these younger kids up and pitching. Debbie Garcia and some other people, because it's the same people, same problem. Got to go.
My thing is, I don't care about anybody else right now. In this conversation, right now, I want to talk about Gary Sanchez. I am no longer a Gary Sanchez fan. I will root on Gary Sanchez. If he hits a home run, if he gets a clutch hit, sure, I will root him on because he's a Yankee. But I believe it is time to get rid of Gary Sanchez or sit him for a couple games. This guy needs to readjust his mind.
Well, we can trade him for a pitcher.
We could. Now, in your opinion, you got a guy here, I actually wrote this part down, led the American League twice in pass balls, leads the team in strikeouts, which is 24.
Mm-hmm.
That's only through 14
I think
games.
he only has 5 hits.
In 43 at-bats, he has 4 hits, and he is batting 93. Now, the 24 strikeouts, the next closest to that is Judge, who has 18.
It almost seems like when Gary Sanchez goes 0-2 in the count, it's almost like he panics.
I've seen some good at-bats where he battles. I'm so tired of defending him. I want to see, you see these great glimpses of Gary Sanchez can be an elite catcher. He's got a cannon of an arm. He can hit the deep ball. The Kraken is released. But you never know what you're going to get.
But to mention, they changed the way he catches now. He has one knee on the ground, which I don't think is any good. He's had like 2 or 3 pass balls the last 3 games.
The one against the Rays ended up leading to the win and run and getting in scoring position. And Aaron Boone defended him, saying, you know, it's sinker away, it's hard to block. It is hard to block, but you're a pro.
But he had
you need
2
to block
yesterday
it.
again. He had one that actually hit his glove that he should have caught.
Now, I give him credit. He blocked one yesterday from Montgomery. It got away from him. And then he goes to throw it, almost throws away from third because he doesn't set his feet. This guy, he batted .230 last year. The year before was like, I'm just so tired of, and I get it, catchers usually aren't your best hitters. They're usually amazing defense, but we don't get a one-sided Gary Sanchez. We just get he's decent catcher. He struggles blocking the ball. We can all say that. He's struggling hitting. He barely can bat in the 100s right now. I'm just over it.
He was always slow. He always had a slow start to a season.
I was saying today, as a coach, how have you not benched Gary Sanchez? I know it's Gary Sanchez. I know he's the Kraken. But how have you not said, and I get you're in first place. The Yankees are 11-6. No need to worry. But how as a coach, how you got a guy through 14 games, he's batting .093. Have you not gone, let me bench this guy for a game or two? Give Kyle Higashioka, however you say his last name. I know he's not.
Well, they drafted 2 catchers the last 2 years too in the draft.
I know that. But it's frustrating. Like as a coach, wouldn't you make a change in your lineup for that position?
I personally think it's time to make him a DH, and either DH him or trade him.
I was going
and get
through,
something for him while you can. I don't know.
I'm just
I never liked
I know
him.
there's a lot of people that listen to this podcast or that we've had on that they're like, Gary Sanchez is the man. He's a good catcher, and I get that. I have been defending.
He's not the man, and that's the thing.
He's
not.
not.
The man.
He is
Sure,
not.
he might give you a bunch of home runs in the season, and he might get hot every now and then. But the only thing good about Gary Sanchez is he has a great arm. But nobody steals anymore, so it's irrelevant.
If you look at
Why would they steal
if I'm looking at a 5-year plan for the Yankees, I don't want Gary part of it.
Why would they steal him when they know it? Just wait
Wait for a
pass
pass
ball's gonna happen.
ball. And it's like I get it. Like we bashed him on this podcast a lot, but I truly have been wanting him to break out to the potential that you do see glimpses of like, okay,
My thing
Gary's
is-
looking good.
Is he's lost more games for us than he's won. And
just tough.
you have to. I mean, there's great catchers out there. Like
There are.
JT
So-
Realmuto, man. The
now-
Phillies screw up on him, and he ends up walking. They don't give him a good deal.
I was
would be
taking
all over him.
I was taking a look at some teams that are pretty much in the bottom of the crap, and I was like, Salvador Perez. The Royals are 5-11. He's coming back from an injury.
Yeah, how old is he though?
He's just turned 30. He's batting .311 right now. He's batting .311. He's got 23 hits. He's got 3 home
He's
runs.
a great defensive catcher.
He's only got 14 strikeouts right now. Great defensive catcher. Great defensive catcher. Now you're thinking the Royals are about 7-11 right now. They're about to trade Winfried, however you say his last name away. There's a lot of people that are looking at that guy. That team's in the process of rebuilding. A 30-year-old catcher, and if they give the right deal,
The trade market's gonna be different this year because you're only allowed to look at the people that are on the rosters, like whoever's down in Scranton for the Yankees and their roster they have now. Yeah. You can't look at players that are on the single A and double A.
I was thinking.
So
too,
you're gonna have to go off your gut and hope it's a good trade because there's no games going on for them.
just scrimmages down for the people
But
that are on the roster.
I think the Yankees, what their need is, I think you keep Sanchez obviously now. You have.
Well, I
you
said
have Higgy
in my
the back.
mind, I said you move Gary to DH and you bring Salvador Perez to come hit and catch.
I think what the Yankees need is pitching.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Paxton, is that an echo?
I don't know what that was.
Paxton is kind of.
Don't change anything. It's okay.
He's kind of up and down.
Yeah, but listen, I can manage with Pax. It's Hap that needs to go.
Hap's got to go. I mean, they just missed his last start on purpose.
The pitching coach came out and he said that Paxton's velocity's getting up again. And he's
And that's a big thing.
he's saying there's no reason why he shouldn't be hitting his velocity.
That is a big thing that's happening right now with a lot of the good pitchers in the league. They're having trouble with velocity, having trouble with their arms, feeling like they have dead arms. Yeah. I mean, you look at all the big names that are out right now. Mike Minor's another one that was struggling early. He had his first good game last night.
I was looking at the trade rumors, and that's why I brought up that Winfried, whatever his name is, with the Royals. He's on like every team's trade. He's a good utility guy. And then the Yankees, it was like Mike Minor. And I'm looking at this guy. In his picture, he has a gray beard.
Who?
Mike Minor.
Like Minor's only 30, I think.
And I'm like, I get it. He's a
beast.
good pitcher.
He's
It's
a
like,
beast.
would you want someone that old? And let's be real, they're probably going to want somewhat of a good piece back for him because he has been pitching well.
I'd give him Andujar.
No way. As much as I want to trade Andujar for some stud, how many years are you going to get out of Mike Minor? Maybe 3? Maybe. Why not trade Andujar for a young pitcher or a young catcher?
But what the Yankees have coming up through the farm system, they have a great rotation coming up.
I know.
So, if you
They have
get,
Andujar
if you
going to
get a
the
Mike
Marlins.
Minor to fill in for this year, what's it going to hurt?
They
Especially
have
when you just put Andujar down on the minors.
They have him going to the Marlins. That's who, Andujar.
For what?
I don't know. I didn't read all of it. I just saw, because I was looking for the Yankees, I saw Andujar Marlins.
There's no room for Andujar right now unless they do what I said. Put Torres back at second base, move Gio.
Torres is
over to
another
shortstop.
guy. He's struggling big right now. They move him to the third lineup, and they were talking about the Yankees game yesterday. Sometimes you get moved in a lineup that you're not typically in, and now you're like, okay, I'm third in the lineup. I need to produce more. And when you watch him, he looks like he's trying to take bigger hacks, and now it's starting to get mental, and he's struggling.
I just think this is a sprint, man. This is a sprint. We're in
There's no
first
time
place.
to struggle right now, man.
Tampa Bay's hot. Tampa Bay, they've won like 5 or 6 in a row now.
I mean, we lost our last 5 games or something like that.
And not to mention, the Orioles won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
So things are happening behind us. We are in a
We
tough
looked
schedule
good.
right now.
We looked good yesterday, and then obviously pitching started to struggle towards the end. But listen, this is no time to screw up. This is a 60-game season. Anybody. I mean, look at the Marlins. They're still in first place. Cardinals are having they had no negative tests in the past day, so they're hoping to get. They're like 2-7. They barely played
I
any
think
games.
Friday they came out and they said that all 30 teams are gonna be playing this weekend, and boom, Saturday they canceled the series with them. Buffalo. I mean, Toronto's probably. I mean, finally got a home field now. They're
Dude,
playing in
Toronto.
Buffalo.
First of all, those baby blue uniforms they had yesterday were so fire, and their record obviously isn't that great, but they have some young prospects. Like if you ever turn the Blue Jays on, man, even if they're losing, those guys are fun to watch.
Yeah.
That is going to be a team that is going to compete.
But they're a young team at every position on the field.
And they're
so
good.
They're set.
They're set for a while.
Yes.
As long as they can
Yes.
re-sign everybody, man, that team's set for a while. The Padres actually just traded for Yonder Alonso, who is Machado's brother-in-law. I don't even think he played this year yet, but he batted like 130 or something like that last year through 100, 200 at-bats. But getting back to the Yankees, Clint Frazier time. Is it Clint Frazier time?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You have Gardner, who's my favorite Yankee, who obviously is struggling. But I'm not saying bench Gardner. What I'm saying is you have Stanton, who cannot stay healthy.
No. And this is his third leg injury now in the last
And he's going to be out for at least a month, they said. Which is tough because he was hitting the ball well this year.
That's a huge contract we're stuck with.
He was playing well.
And they're saying a lot of it is because he's DHing, that he's not moving enough, that his legs are getting cold, and when he comes out and runs, it's soft tissue injuries. They're actually saying that they should do what they do in football. Put an exercise bike in there for him to sit on and pedal while he's sitting in the dugout.
That'd be smart.
Yeah.
Why not put him in the outfield? He's not a bad outfielder.
I agree, but I think now you have to make a change. You have to put Clint Frazier in there. He had a great spring.
You have to start him a couple games here.
Yeah, you
my
have
thing,
to.
My thing is Gardner's getting older, and he's not going to give you 30 home runs every year, 20 home runs every year. He's gonna start to decrease. And I think he is Remember when Aaron Judge was coming up, and Carlos Beltran made them put his spring training locker next to him because Beltran knew Aaron Judge might not start over. He might. But I don't have much time left at this game. Let me mentor this guy. I feel like Gardner could be that guy that can mentor Frazier. Frazier last year, he got 225 at-bats in 2019. Batted 267 with 12 home runs and 14 doubles. You get this guy a full season, he can hit. And right now he said in an interview that he feels like he's the best that he's ever felt right now. Like he feels like he is truly the best that he has ever been. He had a long conversation with Cashman and Aaron Boone. And I guess they hashed out a lot of problems, very productive talk. Before they sent him down after spring training. I mean, he probably got a lot off his chest. They probably got a lot off their chest saying, like, listen, this is where we think you are.
It's totally different this time with his comments.
Because last year, I think they kind of sent him down and didn't really talk to him.
Yeah. But the thing is when you show up to camp and everyone's talking about you in the papers, you're hyped up, you want to play, you're having a pretty good start to the season. He started out very well.
Listen, you put him in our lineup,
sent him down.
He's a top 4 hitter. He has quick hands, and he can hit a home run. I mean, what did I just say? 12 home runs, and that was like only the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
he was leading our team, I think, in hits and average, and then he got sent down. This guy can play,
but I think it's time. You have a nice little lead. You have to give him some playing time, get him in there. The problem is you can't DH him because Mike Ford's starting to get hot and Voigt's getting hot. So you're gonna have to keep rotating them at first base and DH because you don't want to take hot bats out of the lineup.
Listen, I would rotate him and Gardner every day.
I would rotate him, Gardner, and Hicks.
Give them some fresh, especially Hicks, who's coming off an injury.
Yes.
Even Judge. Bench Judge for a day.
Yeah.
Keep him healthy.
But you don't want to bench a hot bat.
No. Now, Hicks isn't batting that. I think Hicks is batting the hundreds right now. He started off pretty well. So rotate these guys. Give them some time. Frazier is going to be a franchise player for us.
He's either going to be a franchise player or he's going to be a trade piece.
And I don't want to trade him. I think he truly can be a very good player. I mean, he batted, what I said, 267 and 12 home runs, 14 doubles through 200 at-bats. Most guys average 500 to 600 at-bats a year. Imagine if he would have played a full season.
Who's that guy that played for the Dodgers and then got traded to the Reds? I can't think of his name now.
Yasiel Puig?
Yeah. I don't know why we don't go after him. He's a free agent.
No one went after him after he got.
He got COVID, he had a contract signed, and then they canceled the contract.
What's messed up, too, is, like, are people not signing because of COVID? I mean, Freddie Freeman had COVID. There's a bunch of players
But I'm
had
just
COVID.
saying, pick him up. I keep hearing an echo.
That's pretty cool.
Pick him up. You know what I mean? Pick him up because, we need... I don't know what I touched on this thing, but I'm going to have to message Carrie.
It might just be something that we have.
Beer Sports, but I would pick him up. Pick him up. Get him on the freaking lineup.
I don't hear him just laughing.
It's funny because I'm talking.
Maybe something's
and
loose in your mic and
I
like
hear
jiggles.
it repeating in my
It's
headset.
pretty cool.
But I would pick him up. It's not going to hurt. You can always sign him for the veterans minimum. Get rid of him if you need to.
My thing though is if you pick him up, then what do you do with Frazier, Gardner, and Hicks? And then you have Stanton too.
I think you bring him in and you put him in the mix, and you play the hottest bats. You give them all equal time, but you play the hottest bats. You have to.
You could DH. You could even give Judge some DH time. I don't know. MLB postseason, they're talking about doing a bubble. That'd be very interesting. They're talking about doing neutral sites. Chicago, Milwaukee, New York, and Philly are the possibility fields, and also Southern California, because they're looking for places that have 3 fields that are close. So you have the Angels field, Dodgers, and Petco, which is what they're looking at, but the Yankees have 3. I don't know why they picked Philly. How close are Philly fields?
Not far.
What other fields are around Philly, though? You know what I mean?
Iron
Pigs?
Iron Pigs.
They could be playing Iron Pigs, see him?
Yeah.
We'll go park the car and stand at the wall and watch
Yeah.
it. My thing is the bubble, I think, could work. You know why? You think about the World Baseball Classic.
I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Well, they said it's a very long shot. They're just talking about it.
I just think the cases are actually coming down. If you would have had 3 teams that look like the Marlins, it would have been a different situation.
Yeah.
I just think now,
That was pretty cool. It's cool hearing
I
that.
don't know what that is, but I think now the numbers are so far down that things have changed. I just keep losing my thought now because it's such
You know
a
what's
weird
frustrating
freaking
is I
situation.
feel like baseball would have been fine if players would have been smart. Like we said multiple times, you got these guys that got money, and they obviously don't want to stay in a hotel all night or wherever they're staying. I mean, you think about St. Louis, they went to a casino. You think about the Marlins, they were partying. Like, if people would have just bubbled, MLS
but
finished.
Jeter came out and defended them and said that's a bunch of crack.
Oh,
Crack
he's
of
going to
shit.
defend them.
None-
He's going
none
to
of- none of
defend his
them did it.
organization.
Yeah.
Now, you think about MLS finished yesterday. They bubbled. They didn't have one case that I know of. I could be wrong.
What, the MLS?
They finished yesterday. They didn't have one case.
Well, they did in the beginning. They had a whole team that had it. The Dallas.
But isn't
the
that after-
Dallas
isn't that before
Football
they bubbled?
Club. No, that was.
But
Dallas.
they kicked
That
them
was
out, though.
In Orlando.
They kicked them out though, didn't they?
Yeah, they sent them home.
And there was nothing after that. Yeah, my Orlando City did lose, by the way, to Portland, 2-1. It was sad. I already ordered my jersey, and now when it gets here, I'm gonna cry.
Speaking of bubbles,
I think it's just the way your mic's sitting on the stand, probably.
I don't know, but that sounds like that on the podcast is gonna be weird because I got a bad echo.
Yeah.
I think that what they're talking about doing is going to be ridiculous. They want to actually open up the bubble to family for the second round of the playoffs.
What, the baseball?
No, basketball. They want to expand it to 4 family members allowed after the first round of the playoffs with 1 ticket allowed per family member.
Now, why would you change something when your season's been so perfect already?
Because they've been so a long way from their families for so long. They want to let them
They
come
have-
back.
wait,
their children.
What happened to
But
their...
it can't be. It has to be a long-standing relationship. It can't be just some girl that you met on the side of the road before you got to the Orlando.
What happened to? I thought they were only supposed to play 8 games in his playoffs. Has it been 8? Like, why does it feel like there's been more than 8 games?
No, it is 8 games. They're about to end it. Whatchamacallit?
JJ Redick's 19-year. Is it 19?
Dame,
9-year playoff?
Dame Lillard's going off,
Dude,
man.
they're chirping in his ear, and he sent them both home, bro. 61 points against the Sixers.
Dame Lillard, and if Portland wins over the Nets, they're in. They were 3.5 out before this started. They're the hottest team in the bubble right now.
Well, how about Phoenix? They haven't lost.
Oh yeah, they have Booker too.
Booker is do you see he dunked over 2 very large men?
Dame Lillard is the only guy other than Wilt Chamberlain to score 60-plus points 3 times in a season.
Listen, man, when people are talking about you because you missed 2 free throws,
Oh yeah,
after he sent both those
he
guys
went out.
home,
He went in on Skip
He's-
Bayless too.
he sent Paul home last year. He sent I forget what the other guys. It's right there, the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it. But he sent the other guy home like 2 years ago, Beverly. These guys are chirping at him, but like you guys rarely beat this guy. Like he sent you home twice in playoffs.
Well, President Trump was tweeting and talking about basketball, saying that it's dull without fans.
I like it.
And that
Actually, LeBron came out and said he's still adjusting to it because you think about LeBron says he hasn't played with no fan. You think about when LeBron was in high school, sold out crowds. When's the last time he's played besides screwing on his
Yeah.
friends without a crowd?
See, I like what they did with the stadium, especially for hockey. How they put
cool.
up those big screen TVs and everything in the
You
background.
can see fans.
I love it.
and
Yeah.
stuff. They did it with soccer too.
But I tell you what, the interesting matchup is going to be like if Portland becomes the number 8 seed.
I have no trust
And they
in the
go up.
Sixers.
They go up against the Lakers.
I have no
I could
confidence
see
in
them
it.
knocking the Lakers out.
No confidence in the Sixers.
Sixers are done. Sixers are done. There is nothing but problems with that team.
Traded beat.
You don't have enough bench help. Embiid's now hurt. Simmons is done with his knee. Who knows if he's coming back or not. One of them has to go. I feel bad for Brown. He's been through this whole freaking deal with them. Now they got these players.
would think with-
Tobias
you would-
Harris is hot one day, then he's cold. Richardson, some days you hear from him, some days you don't.
You would think with Simmons and Embiid that we would have this great team.
Yeah.
They just don't play well together.
We have no bench. No, I mean, you don't have
And
nothing.
if I truly had to trade one, I do not want to trade Simmons. Simmons is more dynamic and power.
The biggest problem was us trading away all that stuff that we had for Jimmy Butler, and then he walked. I mean, that screwed us.
We lost a lot of. I mean, think about it. T.J. McConnell, we let him go. He was a great
Yeah.
defensive man.
Yeah.
And he was good at commanding that team.
You know, Trey Burke, we let him go, and that guy's down there in Dallas shooting 3-pointers like crazy.
Dallas looks good. Dallas
Yeah.
looks good too.
I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I just have no faith in the Sixers. The Flyers, on the other hand, the Flyers are very impressive. They really are. They only allowed 3 goals in the round robin. They beat the Bruins, they beat Tampa Bay, and they beat Washington Capitals. They got the number 1 seed overall. They're just clicking on all cylinders.
There was a game on at work the other day, and I love when it goes to overtime. It's 3-on-3.
Carter Hart's goals against is like 1.67. He's just dominating right now. They have a great series matchup against Montreal. Montreal's hot. Don't get me wrong. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins to get in the series. They have Price, who's actually playing hot hockey right now. But last night's game, I tell you what, Columbus versus Tampa Bay, 5 overtimes. It was a 6-hour game.
5 overtimes.
That game was so long that the Bruins actually had to cancel their game and play it this afternoon. They played at 11 o'clock. The Bruins won right away, 4-3.
I was watching it at work.
There was 150 shots on goal. 88 alone by Tampa Bay.
That's just good goalkeeping.
Could you
I guess.
imagine being the losing goalie, but you had 85 saves in a game?
You gotta give yourself a pat on the back. I mean, at the end of the day, your offense didn't help you.
To put that in perspective, the Rangers had 82 shots on goal in 3 games. Tampa Bay had 88 in 1.
At some
That's
point, you
amazing.
gotta be mad as a goalie and be like, "Are you guys gonna score?" Because like the chances of a goalie letting a goal go by are probably high. I mean, think with the blind spots, the one-timers, the guys just standing in front of you.
These
Go
guys
score.
were tired. I mean, there was nothing.
Oh, I
left
bet
in
your
the
feet
tank.
probably are killing
Oh,
you.
God, yeah. I mean, after the game was over, those guys just hanging. But Columbus, I think they played 5 games in 6 days. It's crazy. And now they have a day off today, and they have to recover to come back and play tomorrow.
I'd be tired, man.
But the Flyers, I'm so pumped up. I mean, everyone is clicking. The defense looks amazing. They stopped some really good teams.
That's
They
the
got
best
a little
thing. When you have a good
got a little
defense.
sloppy late against Tampa Bay, but you got great goalies, man. Great goalies.
It's about time we have a good goalie too, man. All the years that we've had of ups and downs and ups and downs.
Matter of fact, I've been bugging Carter Hart. I know he ain't gonna come on right now.
He ain't gonna come on.
And Farabee, I was bugging him to come on. So we'll see what happens. What happens with that? But oh, by the way, the Big Ten and the Pac-12,
Officially
they said
done,
they are
right?
not playing football.
Well, not some might play in the spring, but I don't know if that's gonna work.
You're not gonna get anyone that is projected in that top 2 rounds. Maybe you're not gonna see them play in the spring.
'Cause you don't get injured.
You
What's the
might
point?
you might see them play in the Senior Bowl. You might play them in like something like that. But you're not gonna see them. They're not gonna ruin their careers.
That's tough, man. That's why the XFL doesn't make so much money. I feel like.
Yeah. And everyone, I mean, the SEC came out, the ACC came out, said they were playing. They were all waiting for the Big 12 to see what they were going
We
to
had
do.
people like Trevor Lawrence tweeting out saying like, "We're gonna have more of a chance if we don't play."
Yeah. The Big 12 said they're playing. So 3 of the 5 powerhouse divisions are playing. I hope, there's teams in the Big Ten that are saying they want to play. It's the presidents that are saying no. I mean, Michigan wants to play. Nebraska, Scott Frost is actually talking about going to other groups, conferences, because they want to play.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, it really is.
I wanna
because
see how
these
football-
kids, they're banking on this. They really are. They're banking on
Well,
this.
you think how much some of these kids sacrificed? Skipping out on things at high school to get some extra reps in practice. How much you're dedicating your time to practice and study film when you could just be a normal kid playing Xbox, going out with friends. They want to, if they're this close to getting a chance to get drafted, and now you're not going to play that final season where you're going to get more, time, more film on yourself. That's tough, man. I'd be frustrated.
And I saw a thing, too, where, I didn't know this. Governors of states, they only control state schools, like Michigan State, Penn State.
Not like Michigan.
They can't shut Michigan down. They can't shut a Rutgers down. They can only shut down state schools because they control them.
That's crazy.
So you might. And another thing I heard too is like these conference presidents, they're afraid because they're starting to see players unionize and they're coming out with a list of demands of what they want A lot of them, like, they want revenue. A lot of them want protection. A lot of them want like stuff that they're not getting now. So they're like, well, we'll just end the season, and now we don't have to worry about that. But that's not going away. College football, as we know it, is gonna change.
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of colleges that have to have like open walk-on tryouts
What?
next year with all the kids that didn't get high school like senior year.
If I'm
games.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I'm licking my lips, man. I'm on the phone. I'm making this XFL happen soon.
See that thing that came out about him? It's amazing how after he got cut from football, he had $7 to his name. And now he's the highest paid actor with like $365 million.
Well, he had $7 to his name, but his dad was wealthy.
Yeah, but do you think his dad was
family
making that
was
much money
wealthy.
back then?
Making decent money.
Decent money, but I don't think his dad. I mean, think about the times back then. I don't think his dad was making great money.
Well, you look at what people make today, dollar amount. You know, even $15, $16 an hour. You go back 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. That's great money for somebody.
Oh yeah.
So times have changed, but the price of things have changed too. But he never had to worry about. I mean, he went to the University of
I
Miami.
didn't know that. Like when he got injured in college, the guy that took over him was it Warren Sapp or something that became a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Imagine that, knowing that if you didn't get injured, maybe that would have
He
been
blew
you.
his knee out though.
Was he? I guess he was pretty good in college, wasn't he? Until he got injured.
You know, he went to my school and I never really paid attention to him playing football.
But I heard in college, he came back from that injury, had like 7 sacks, something like that.
It could have been that bad. I mean, he went and
I
wrestled for how
heard-
many years?
I heard last year Alvin Kamara, when he came back from injury, he was still dealing with an MCL tear. And he ended up having 1,000 yards rushing, or total yards. Imagine that. Imagine this year, fully healthy.
Well, the Washington Redskins came out and they said that they're not going to have fans in their stadiums. So the only team now in the NFC East that's going to have fans in their seats is
Dallas.
the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys had their press conference today, and Jerry Jones basically came out and said that we need grace. That he's not going to comment on the whole national anthem thing, and that 2 years ago is when he said that, people need to not kneel, and it almost sounds like he's changing his view a little bit, where people have to understand where the players are coming from, and the players have to understand where the people are coming from. They all have to have grace. And they blame the coronavirus on not getting a Dak deal done, basically, which is a crock because they had how many years now to get that deal done.
I feel like that deal was pretty good in my eyes.
But
It's going to be very interesting to see how many fans can be in a game. I know I've been seeing some of the South Korean baseball. I don't know if it's Korean baseball or Japan baseball that when I go into work early in the morning, they have fans, not necessarily like lower end, but like up top.
it's going to happen. You're gonna have it because now soccer's allowing fans back. NASCAR has fans back. It's going to change. College football, Texas came out and said,
smart about
the
it.
governor of Texas said that they can have 25 to 50% occupancy. That's 50,000 people can be in Dallas Stadium.
Just don't let them get food and water. Allow them to bring their own water.
Well, Dallas, Jerry Jones said they have pods, and they have 2 large entrances where people won't run into each other. They have an open air facility where it's great ventilation. It's 3 million square foot facility. They can get airflow through there. They have both doors that open on both ends. People will be isolated in there. Each pod has its own bathroom, has its own like vending, like restaurant areas. I've never been in there, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. They're gonna have 45 to 50,000 people spread out in $100,000 seat
You
stadium.
should only be able to sit next to, like, if you came with a loved one, like
Yeah.
a family member. But then you're going to have people like, we're brothers or sisters.
But you know what the thing is? If you're comfortable enough going, go. Wear a mask.
That's the thing, though. People got to be smart and wear a mask.
Yeah. The only thing that Jerry's going to worry about is he's going to have to disinfect that stadium after every home game.
Which you probably could do.
Yeah. Did you see that Dallas and the Saints and a couple other teams are actually forming bubbles in their practice facilities? Dallas is actually staying
someone
at the
told me-
hotel at the Star.
Someone told me that at work, that the Saints are going to be staying at the hotel right next to the practice facility, and they're going to form their own bubble.
They're treating it like it's like Dallas usually goes to Oxnard for camp. So you're usually away from your family for so many weeks, 5, 6 weeks, whatever it is. That's what they're going to do. They're going to lock themselves at the Star, in the bubble, and try to keep this coronavirus from getting in
It's
there.
going to be interesting, man. I'm intrigued. Isn't training camp going on now?
It started.
Because Hard Knocks started.
Cowboys have a full practice Friday. They had all the players on the field, defense and offensively, today. Friday is going to be the first real practice, probably like contact and
It
stuff.
sucks. Like, I really want fans. You know, Saints versus Tampa Bay opening day. Tom Brady coming to the Dome in a new team. Like, I want it to be so loud in there where he can't even hear.
Speaking of fans, thank you, Twitter, my Twitter family. We're almost up to 1,000 followers right now.
That's amazing.
I've been actually reaching out to some of your Who Dat whatever nation
Who Dat Nation?
and getting them to come on board. Getting a lot of follows from overseas. Love it. I mean, this podcast tonight doesn't justify what we usually do, but we're throwing this together at the last minute.
That's right, you
I
gotta
literally
leave soon.
just walked in the door from work, and I got to walk out in a couple minutes to go to a meeting we have. But
We're trying to get an athlete on tomorrow, but we just wanted to spit some facts at you guys real quick, our view on Gary Trash, and some just sports topics that are going around right now.
yeah, and we I like how you said trash. I can't even imagine what Rudy's thinking when he hears this.
I don't even care anymore, man.
Boy.
But
I love you, Rudy.
the great thing about the podcast is we said this several times. We have been blessed with a lot of athletes. Never thought in a million years we'd ever get one, and unfortunately, the downside of having athletes is you fall on the sword every now and then, and you have to, go off of their schedule.
You know what is nice though? Like, I had a buddy reach out to me. He's like, "Hey, you still do that podcast?" Which I can clearly tell they don't listen to it. You know, when they say that, I'm like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I was like, we just had Hugh Jackson on, Rob Ryan, wait for no way."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. If you listen to the podcast, you know.
It's been a true
For all those people that have been with us since that first interview,
Yeah.
you guys are the real ones. You know what I mean? Like the people that are.
Even the minor leaguers, man. You know what? I love just talking baseball.
That's like when I made that post of the first people we had on. Like, they got it going for us. Like,
Yeah.
I thank them because it was the ones that could reach, that would like give their time to us, even though we were nothing. It was amazing.
Who was our first guest? Evans.
Aaron Evans, baby.
Aaron Evans. He kicked it off.
Aaron Evans, man. That man.
But we love it. Love it.
Who was the basketball player?
Which one? Ariel Atkins?
Ariel Atkins. That was awesome too, man.
Yeah. Stacy Vega?
All the little people, man.
Yeah. Our first real pro athlete was the guy from the Bears. Not Colin Thompson, the other one.
Jameer Thurman?
No. One from the offensive lineman.
Oh yeah, Joe McCray.
No,
Jordan McCray.
not him.
Yeah.
No, it was that other guy. I can't think of his name. I'm horrible. Oh my God, we have to edit this out.
No.
We had 3 Chicago Bears on.
Really?
Yeah. God, it's slipping my brain. I can't.
Well, you Jameer Thurman, Colin Thompson, and Jordan McCray.
No,
Yes.
there's another one.
There's no other one.
Yes, there is. And I'm gonna look it up. But he follows us on Instagram. I'm gonna follow him.
We had the lineman that played with the Saints.
No, we had a lineman that played with the Bears, and then he got in. He had a podcast too.
Yeah.
Not Colin Thompson.
I know.
What's
He went to the Saints for the combine.
What was his name?
I remember.
You see, that's the kid.
I know who
That's
it is.
the one that
though.
gave us all the insight on the combine.
Yeah, I know who it is. But I just don't remember his name.
But it has been a true blessing. We keep digging. It's not, unfortunately, sometimes it's not cheap to get these guests on. There is a little fee.
I'm excited we used to get those guys on.
Yeah. But all this is for you guys. We love doing it. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully you continue to follow us, share us.
I love our goodbye endings. It's always the same thing. Thank you guys so much.
And if any of you
It's a blessing.
ever want to come on this podcast, this
Ever wanna come
podcast
on.
is not too big for anybody. Whoever wants to come on, I don't care if you're from Texas. I don't care where you're from. Hit us up on that DM, and we'll get you on. We'll get your take on Cowboys, on anything you want to talk about, except politics. We don't talk politics here.
Not much, but continue to share the love, guys. We thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed our wonderful voices today. Just to make a joke here, it's 5:17 p.m. our time. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.